with Mzee Clyde Mayanja. He's a veteran musician, promoter of the 1960s and 1970s music scene of Uganda. He was one of the members of the Crane Band, the #1 band of Uganda, and I'm very happy that he's here. Welcome.
Thank
to
you.
this nice session. We are going to talk about a little bit about the history of Uganda, but then through song. Let me start with the first song. There's a song by Christopher Sebaduka, a very well-known Kadongo Kamu artist, and he did a song way back at the end of the 1950s called Teresa.
Teresa, hey, yabo ngedonge ne rabie, boronsuna ne kobendene no butono ngansuna ne Teresa ngazina, mwatu Teresa na situko zine muleka kungu byotondongo ngatozina. Dekanayo kukekero otyo. Amaso ga Teresa, mama kimyanso kenyini. Ebere lya Teresa, mama dikira kotena. Owe mbiri enkulu, owe munye nene, owe risedene, rifana nenjuba, mama nabo. Ye dia. Nebora bakoze nakuzino, Teresa mwana wa nyabondise. Kubango nyumirengo yenkumu, mama owe binetene. Boyambala dress jonina, mama baliwo bakira. Wesi babusuti joni na gwe Teresa baliwo bakira. Nebo bamukubo bo bakira, ne bumba genene bo bakira, ne mukerezi enkulu bo bakira, ne mukerezi enene bo bakira.
Sebaduka, by that time in the 50s, he was staying on Gaza Road, just exactly after the roundabout. He composed that song just in presentation of his thinking, and also he composed, he included the thinking of other fellow men of that time, because they are very much interested. In fact, what you have to know, by that time, there was a transition, development in everything, from the 50s, 60s and 70s, especially the 50s and 60s. So even before in the backward, the women were not allowed to dress in miniskirts, to dress short dresses. They were all allowed to be covered from top to down to the knees. But now by that time, all those dressing, Fritzo Sebaduka, when he saw this new transformation, the women were dressing like the British, like the Americans, and all those dresses were showing their figures, completely, were displaying their figures. And now the women are now the gentlemen of that time, they were very much amazed, seeing a lady walking all her hips, dancing about that, which they never saw about. So he was very much impressed. So he carried that song, that message in that song. And women, they are starting coming in the bars, which wasn't there. And now when they come in the bars and the men come in mingling, each one would just look at the hips of the woman first to see, does he dance properly? If I take him, will he dance properly? So that was a message of love and other thinking of...
Teresa was actually the biggest hit. There were records made between, let's say, 1955 up to 86, and Teresa sold more than 80,000 copies. Now, normally a hit in Uganda had maybe 2,000 copies. That was a lot of copies if you could sell these records 2000, that was really a hit. Normally they would bring out maybe 200 or 300 copies of a record, and that was usually the end of the record. But Teresa had 80,000, more than 80,000 copies. So that song really captured
basajja bannange musabe katonda njale gudde osimba emmwanyi osimba n'ebijanjalo njale gudde osimba pamba osimba n'ekitoke njale gudde ene njale gudde kino kitalo nnyo njale gudde Mwabaganda muleke kuzanya njale gudde aba UPC musabe katonda njale gudde mwabadde mwongere kuwonga njale gudde ene njale gudde kino kitalo nnyo njale erigwa ene njale gudde njale erigwa njale gudde
That song came into existence. It was depicting the picture of what was happening in the country, the misunderstanding between the Kabaka and the central government, or Botezi himself. The Kabaka didn't want this referendum to take place. Created a very bad picture among the people of Uganda. And that's why the guy wrote that song, composed that song.
Who was he?
About Njale Gudde, Njale Gudde. Now that was Eklas Kawalia. And when Njale Gudde came, it was indicating, or why he was telling the people to be firm or to be prepared to the future outcome from the referendum. It doesn't mention it, but politically, that's the message. Because he tells them, Abaganda, Okulima, which means he's telling his fellow Baganda to be firm and to keep food, because you never know when there's a problem, food might be scarce. So you keep your food properly.
This song is kind of predicting troubles ahead.
Yeah, trouble, yeah, exactly.
And then 2 years later, the Kabaka is deposed by Milton Obote. And then the same artist, Eklas Kawalia, a very famous Ugandan artist, one of the most famous artists ever here in Uganda. Beautiful voice he had. He wrote another song, again with the beginning Enjala. Clyde, this song is about a drought. The whole song is talking about a drought, but we're living in this beautiful Uganda region, and as far as I know, there's never been a drought here. Everything is so green and lush. Tell me why he wrote this song, and what's the deeper meaning of this song?
That song, after Kabaka went out of his kingdom, he ran away through Burundi up to London. Now, in Uganda kingdom, there was a virtue. It was because there was no leadership. The Kabaka is the board of Bagale, the Kabaka is their leader, is their mentor. What he says, nobody argues with it. So now there was nobody they could listen to. So they had to assimilate the new condition, or the new political condition which had been introduced in the country. The Uganda came to be without the Kabaka for the time being. And now this guy, Ekras Kawalia, when he saw that kind of thing, he composed this another song, appealing to the Baganda that now, Enjale Good, which means now there's a drought in the country. Drought in this sense indicates the Kabaka. Drought is the Kabaka who was out of the country. Now the people's minds became helpless, without anything, where to come, where to touch, where to go, where to talk to, see? So everybody was on his own. So that's why I tell them, now the drought has come.
Kisota tewalula kireserenya kisota kitulemye obuza bakimanye kisota kyavawa musenyukwe kusomba kisota kyanumye owange kyamuse kuliruja byowulira embala sasa yerinye lyekisota abeka moja ukwezo vatusiva embala sasa etamye kikule kisesa mazina katunibwa mara sasa wabakubu mama basalao tekiri na musango tekiri na busakwa bamone basaba gavumenti yambeko ngembala sasa etamye.
That song, it came during Amin's time in the 70s. The real truth is that by that time some people had started building new structures. Now people were bringing in the sand in plenty, and that sand were coming from the ocean sand.
From the lake, you mean?
From the lake
Victoria.
Whatever, yes, from the Lake Victoria, and around the river, but mostly from Lake Victoria. And now, in those lakes, there's a creature, God's creature, called a crocodile. And that crocodile, when it turns for it comes to lay its eggs, it comes out from the water and comes on the land. And it hatches its eggs deep inside in the sand. They brought in all those eggs and they dumped it at the sites. I said where we are putting up the structure, wherever you are. Now by and by, those eggs started to hatch. And hatching, those things started to come out. And incidentally, that lizard, it had legs. But it wasn't very long, it was but big, and it could jump. Yeah,
To your neck even?
Yes, it could jump. And when it jumps on you, and it bites you, you get a problem. Either you survive or you die. So now it was a phenomenon which had surrounded the whole country. And some people started to tell stories. Now Amin is going. You'll be toppled.
But I want to go back to the start of this whole saga, because they even called it the Emblasasa saga. Even the parliament here in Uganda started talking about it, and they even put a commission of inquiry into this whole issue of the Emblasasa, because they said a kid in Kamocha was killed by one of these Emblasasas that jumped up to her neck and killed her. And if you look at these newspapers, in 4 months' time, 15, 20 newspaper articles were written about this whole issue, about the Mbalasasa and how dangerous it was. But at the same time, there were also people saying that this Mbalasasa can never be so dangerous. So there was a Ugandan professor of Makerere that came on UTV television, even brought an Mbalasasa with him and put the Mbalasasa on his hand to see if it can bite, and he was trying to prove to the people that it could not bite. But I agree with you, what you said before, that maybe sometimes these stories are used to kind of scare people or to bring a political element into the conversation, and that definitely happened, because that is what the newspaper columnists were also saying, that maybe this Mbalasasa saga is a way of confusing people, especially maybe not so educated people.
The influence of because these people they came, they found it already, the influence here already established. It was established way back in 1959 when a veteran singer called Israel Magembe came back from Congo after he had mastered all the techniques of the Congolese music from Franco Kabaselezi. He was with them. So he came here as a professional guitarist, and he formed this band called Kampala State Six Band, and was the first guy who was driving this scooter bike. He was the first, and all the ladies were very much eager to be with him. So he brought that kind of Congolese music, because by that time, before he came, we were playing English type of music, Brazilian type of dances, the rumba, cha-cha-cha, tango, foxtrot. Those were the types of dances we are having. But when he came, he brought that African rumba. So that African rumba was got a grip on our people here within all nightclubs. So these people, when they came in the 70s, after Amin had expelled the Asians, and certainly Arm officer took over, which was New Life, and the one that was renamed Economic Nightclub, after General Amin's renaming, calling it Economic War. It was Economic War. That's what they call it, Economic Nightclub. So all those Asian, Congolese were coming. So they are coming here because their beat had already made roots among the Ugandans. But they couldn't stay here long because there was no recording studios all produced. They were recording studio, but they were not producing.
Yeah, they were not so good also compared to the ones in Nairobi.
So they had to go to Nairobi, where they are producers, recording producers, like Equator Sound, like AGS, or in Kericho, you see. So that's where they went. And when they went there, they found also the atmosphere musically favorable. Why did we incorporate the African rumba? Because after we had started the teenagers dances, we had also decided to be professional one or the other. Professional meant to go in nightclubs or to visit them to play in the night. After we have played the nightclub, the teenagers dances, then in the night or during the weekend, because the weekdays we had school. So we could go in the nightclubs and play for them. And for them there, their tempo was different from the teenagers. So then we had to play, to incorporate that rumba, African rumba. We left the tango, the cha-cha, the rock and roll to the teenagers at the teenagers' time of daytime.
Maybe we should play a song of the Cranes now then, and then maybe afterwards we talk a little bit about the meaning of that song.
Okay.
So it's a song called Imirizo.
Imirizo.
There is the mixture of traditional and rumba, isn't it? So somehow the Cranes there with this song, it was not a mix of Western and rumba, but this was a mixture of pure African, Ugandan music with rumba. How did that come about, and tell me about the meaning of the song, the lyrics?
Well, the meaning, first, let's start with the lyrics. Well, that was Amin's time, 72 there, when he had even brought back the body of Kabaka Mutesa II. Because after that he had went back there, everything had come to stand still. As Kawaya told you, was in Jollywood. So there was a drought in everybody. All the culture had been cemented down, so nobody could tell that, this is my totem. So he sings about our totems. We're going to totem this one.
How many are there for the Baganda people?
52.
52.
Totem. This is a mamba, this is buffalo, this is a lion, and all that. So nobody could talk about that. But now when Amin came, he realized that to be in existence and in power properly, he had to cooperate with Baganda, because they had the key to the administration. So, through that cooperation, he brought back the body of Kabaka Mutesa and was buried with his ancestors at Kasubi tombs. So after that, so everything started to turn to be now we can talk about our totems, we can discuss this and that, you see, freely. And that's how Moses Matovu, the legendary musician, my fellow musician, he composed that song, Emiziro.
And this song was really a big hit. For weeks it was number one.
Yeah.
And I want to make a jump from that song because you already explained that this was kind of like a liberation. I mean, people could suddenly talk about their culture again, and they were not allowed during apartheid time, and suddenly that was possible. So Idi Amin was seen as a savior. As somebody
that's how they saw it. Even others who sang about him, those in the early 70s, they were praising him as a savior. Christopher Sabaduka was praising him that, oh, you have done nicely to chase away the agency. So they were suffocating Gasi, they were discriminating Gasi.
Ekisera kyatukaja bannayuganda fena twekambe erabire ennyombo twekati tuweereze ensi Uganda yattu tajamidi jazadde tusanga tusanyuke nga bwe tukola tusanga tuyinge okwewala engambo n'okwagala okulya omuntu kintu kibi tusobola okuba abasinga abeesigika eriwa buli munnayuganda etoboozi mundowooza ejyalowooza ng'obuntu n'okulagulana bibiri mulembe guno ogwa ddata tusanga tusanyuke nga bwe tukola tusanga tuyinge okwewala engambo n'okwagala okulya omuntu kintu kibi tusobola okuba abasika abeesigika tusikire enseno
Can you tell me about this phenomenon, about making these praising songs and why Idi Amin was really deserving these praising songs?
He deserved his praise. He deserved it a lot because he had transformed us, or he had passed us through a very depressing situation. Because the Obote's time became a very depressing time. When Amin toppled him, so everybody became happy because now there's ownership we have remained with. That's why everybody was praising him. Another point was the way the agents, as I've been telling you, were discriminating the indigenous Ugandans. In everything, they were discriminating them. That's why also Amin called them, called their elders. Why do you do this kind of thing? Why don't you want to mingle with us? They couldn't tell him the proper answer. So all of them decided to go. So now when they went, the black indigenous Ugandans took over the mantle of owning the city. In that way, the indigenous Ugandans started to learn how to make trade and how to interact with other neighboring countries.
abayimbi bagobwa kyokka babasinga nnyo dada mini weebale watuwonya bajambula ne bwabeera mu kyalo weewuwo mumaka n'akujogo butaka weevaamu n'omugoba twawona bajambula twawona okujogobwa twawona bajambula dada mini weebale watuwonya bajambula bannansaba kuno nga tusuula mu byalo babajja okupakasa nga beesulira mu bibuga gy'okubira enkumbi gy'osigire essooli nga bo batudde mu butebe bw'essomero Lungereza twawona bajambula twawona okujogebwa twawona bajambula dada mini weebale watuwonya bajambula ng'abayimbi bantama olw'okuba abasosoze bayimba okutunuga n'okutubba ebyamaguzi. Twawona abajambula, twawona okujogebwa, twawona abajambula. Dada Amini weebali watuwonya abajambula. Wano sukaali olwabula Amini n'ababuuza bamuddamu kikino nti omusana gwayaka nnyo bamulaba kyalusi badda mu nseko obuseko nga bettiramu bwe bati nti tumutunda n'akola kisa.
This guy, what he talked about, he was appreciative. It's an appreciative song. He was appreciating what Amin had done, as others that we are also doing. But for him, he went as far as telling that we are being suffocated heavily by these agents. Everywhere we are there. We sleep down there in the villages, with them they're in big cities, enjoying and everything. So he's sending a message, even to the child, to know that there was an era of this nature. If you see an Indian, you see the child, you know, oh, this is the Indian who was being talked, who was sung about. So you understand how they mismanaged, or how they mistreated the indigenous ones.
Yeah, the anger the anger was very understandable, and it went as far as that indeed there was even a nursery rhyme kind of written about it, that even the smallest of people would understand this whole saga and how it had ended. The people were happy that Kabaka's body came back. They were happy that Idi Amin chased away the Indians, but they were also happy that he banned teenager dances and the miniskirt. And those two things, teenager dances and the miniskirt, are very related. And let's first play the song. It's a song by Gerald Mukasa, and then we'll talk about it, because you are one of the founding fathers of these teenage dances. So it will be very nice to hear more about that.
Kyokamwe abakyala bannange mufuuse mutya, ennyambala y'ekinnansi mugijjeewo, okuyita obwereere kunaaba kutya, eggwanga laffe Uganda mulitwala wa be bamanyiyo. Okumanya abakyala ebiro bino nga mwambala bubi nnyo, lwaki bw'otuula ku katebe weekumaakuma n'oddira akatambaala obikka ku bisambi, ky'oba obibikkako omukyala ogenderera ki? Obanga oyambadde bulungi maama weebijjira ki, anti okuyita obwereere kye walondawo, yitira ddala bwereere tusooke tumanye, ne mu lubu lw'abantu tukwawulemu. Kyokka abakazi abanubbi bo mbasemba kimu, n'abakazi abajaluwo bo mbasemba kimu.
Yeah, of course. During Amin's time, he wasn't the first to ban them, but of course when we started off the teenager dances, way back then in the 60s, even in the Kabaka's government, there was a Minister of Justice, called Eddie Lugoa, and also banned them, said no, we will not, no, these dancers are spoiling their children and all that. The parents supported him, because now the 60s, that decade of the 60s, was a transition from the old towards a bridge, bridging the old generation to a new generation which was coming up, who we were coming up. So we had our own interests, and for them we had their own interests. And for us, the American influence had started to take over the world dressing, the jeans and all that, and went.
To see this Kabaka minister.
The minister, Mr. Eddie Lugoa. His office were here in Kabaka and Jagara. Now the building is comprised of a court. court of Uganda. That's where he was sitting. I sat with him, was allowed to go. We talked about the issue. He told me, no, those car dances are not be allowed because they don't shoot our children. And the parents are complaining. Yeah, I explained to him. The point is this, the world is changing. Everything now look here, you are dressed properly, you are in a suit, you are put on a necktie. Now tell me, if somebody or the Kabaka comes in sometimes, no, you put on a baka clothes, or a minister, don't just wear just as our ancestors do to wear. They are using baka clothes, which we call embugo. Will you allow? Then today I went back to him. And then he told me one thing, don't play teenagers dances in nightclubs or where there's a bar-related something. Eh? You can play them in security centers, social centers, where it's only for teenagers, only sodas.
So you did not give up the teenager dances, but you compromised.
I compromised. I said, that's okay.
So for who were these decrees, the miniskirt, the ban on teenagers, who was he pleasing, Idi Amin? Which section of the population was pleased with that?
Well, for those, the Nubians, they are very conservative in their culture. They don't want immorals. According to their dress and all that, they don't want an immoral attitude, moral appearance, and all that. So, secretly was pleasing those Nubians of his because they were part of him in the government. And
there was also, in that same period of time, there were Idi Amin himself played the accordion, and he could play it reasonably well, I think, and he used to play it quite often. He was kind of a music lover, and he liked dancing also. He liked to see women dancing. If you wanted to become part of his entourage, you kind of had to maybe give in a little bit to him. There is a very famous Ugandan musician called Charles Sonko. He's very well known because he was already way back in the 60s, the beginning of the 60s, he was playing in Kenya at the Equator studio that we talked about before. And he was there when even that song Malaika, which was covered by Miriam Makeba and later on by this American singer Harry Belafonte, and that song Malaika went everywhere, and Charles Sonko was kind of there when that song was created. He was maybe not the writer of the song, but he played in that group, and so I want to play you a song of him, and after that I want to talk a little bit about him because he became one of the major musicians around Idi Amin, and he even became a Muslim, and I wonder about these conversions that happened in those days.
He joined a certain band, a local band first, before he joined the army band. After that, he went to Mbuya Jazz Band, which is here. And there were some Congolese and all that. But now, to be a band leader, he needed you to be an army soldier, which Sonko did. He became an army soldier. And when he became an army soldier, they made him a band leader because they had to talk with the chiefs, with the lieutenants about the welfare of the band and all that. Because others were Congolese and the Rwandese in that band. There are a few Ugandans who were there. And for him, he was a professional musician. So it was quicker for him to become a band leader. But he has to be first a soldier. So he became a soldier, he led that band. And then the other things, to further his interests, he had to change religion. You see, because all the people he was interacting with, the officers, this and this, they were all Muslims. They are Nubians. They are Muslims. So he wasn't forced, but for him, for his achievements, he had to do that.
Yeah. And it brought him success, it brought him money, it brought him fame.
Because the saying, he says, stoop to conquer. So he took himself low so that he can conquer the love and kindness and the good behavior of the higher man.
Yeah, the president.
So that's how.
Well said. As a concluding song, I would like to play another song of the Cranes that you are part of, and this song was written by Tony Senkebetje. It is what he told me when I was making my documentary Bwana Jogo, the Ballad of Jesse Gita Kaserivu. He was telling me that that song was kind of inspired by the death of your fellow musician Jesse Kaserivu, the bass player of the Cranes, since 1969. We're talking about 1974. He has a girlfriend called Sarah Cholaba. Idi Amin also likes the woman, starts dating her also. This goes on for 1.5 years. Let's first play the song and then you explain a little bit what happened to Jesse Kaserivu.
Because of love, oh yeah. I tell you, my friend, there's nothing as strong as love. People forget where they belong and go away with the people they love. Oh Lord, my Lord, tell me what love is. What is love? Dear Lord, what's love? What's love? Lord, I don't understand. What's love? I wanna know what love looks like. I can see some people living in sadness. Why? Because of love.
We were invited to entertain the president's guests, which had met at an officer's mess. Now it is Chinese something.
Yeah, opposite of the Sheraton Hotel.
They played there, and he was very much interested in the band. He would come out and start and look at all the members. After that, I went down, I greeted him, we shook hands. He asked me, how is your band? I told him, yeah, the band is there, but not very much. We lack some equipment, one this. No, that's very nice. I'll provide you with the equipment. You come in our office, and my office, we'll talk it more about it. Little did we know that was a recognition meeting of knowing things properly, who is the person who is in love with. So, because that was a Friday. Saturday we played that weekend at Little Flowers. And then that week, Saturday on Saturday 3rd August, we played. Then the following morning, Sunday 4th, we played. After finishing on that Sunday 4th August 1974, Jesse and his comrade, his friend, just such as whom we were sleeping together. We were sleeping too. There was not anyone else. They boarded their taxi, they went. Did we know that we were being followed by another UVS car? You know, by that time, those state research cars we have all known as UVS.
Yeah, and the state research, these were intelligence officers of Idi Amin.
Yeah, with big boots. They went.
Platform shoes.
Now when they reached where at their residence, according to Charles Sechan's revelation, for him he went first, opened, he went inside. Now this one was coming. By the time he reached the gate, one foot was inside, another foot was behind, he was lifting it to get in, he was grabbed. Grabbed, up to the car, and was put in the boot. That's how they operated were going on. Huh? And after putting him in the boot, they took him away. They didn't enter the house, they didn't do anything, but they only took Jesse. When they took him, they know. No, that was it. Soon about it.
That was the end of Jessica Singh.
Yeah, for us, we never saw him. Then, after the time when they went to Nairobi to record, to put up an album.
Yeah, this album, huh?
Yeah, this album. And the other song of his, the Tulaba, which he had composed. It was a very good song, everybody wanted it.
Yeah.
And it sold nicely, it sold the album nicely. It's one of the songs sold the album.
Yeah.
Yeah, in memory of Jesse series.
Was it not daring to, because he gets killed, you record his album, but he's on the cover of the album. So a few months after his killing, this album comes out, and who knows, Idi Amin might even have bought this album. And the people around him were definitely customers that would come and see the Cranes play. Was there never a moment of fear that because of Jessica Sirifu being on the cover of this album?
No, for us there was no moment of fear. What has come. And for him, I think, so now he has got rid of him. No matter whether it's on the album or what, I think he didn't care about it. It was all due to their, I don't know how to call it, because they are so much intricated in love. They are mad.
Yeah.
Their madness brought all that.
Yeah.
They couldn't come to understanding or distinguish the bad and the good. The boy couldn't know that this is bad. And the top man couldn't, this is that, this is bad, this is just an insect.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. So now, that's what I think. They were all mad with one person.
Well, and you guys lost a very good friend, so this is a very dramatic.
For now, we are still
mourning him.
Yeah, mourning him for this present time.
Thanks a lot, Mzee. It was a very nice conversation. The only thing I want to add is that this last song that we talked about, What's Love, was also re-released again in Finland like 2 years ago, because it's such a groovy song. It has English lyrics. It's kind of a song that a lot of people like also outside. And the documentary Bwana Jogo, the Ballad of Jesse Gita, soon will also be lying on the streets of Kampala and in several shops, but at a later date I will reveal that. There's a Bwana Jogo Facebook page, so if you're interested, go and have a look there. I also want to thank the Nyege Nyege festival, because they have made it possible for us to sit here and have this nice...
Thank you very much in every way for promoting our documentary and for promoting our inspiration of the past and for promoting your interest in our own indigenous people. Yeah.
Perfect.
Kati okwagala kulinga kwambala mama oba mukulu ekya mukule okyusako oleme kuvuba kazala bulwa tetunamufu